Hey y'all, and welcome back to Getting Digital with Deja. Mm, 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 mm. Alrighty, y'all, we're back to talking about finances this week, and today we're going to be talking about interest rates and also inflation and how that can affect your money, how that can make your money funny if you don't take precaution. Alrighty, y'all, so let's first go over the textbook definition of inflation, and it reads as follows. A rise in the prices of goods and services across an economy, the same amount of money buys you fewer items than it used to. So this just basically means that inflation is reducing your purchasing power. The price of goods and services in the economy is going up, but the value of your dollar is either staying the same or it's going down. Inflation usually isn't just caused by one thing, it's caused by a combination of different factors. And some of these factors include tariffs, disruptions in the money supply, higher prices to produce these products, and then also higher demand but less supply in the market. And an inflation rate is usually calculated over a period of a year, and that's basically just telling you how much prices have gone up within that year. Now, let's get into how inflation affects interest rates. Central banks adjust interest rates to manage inflation. So, interest rates are essentially the cost that a person has to pay to be able to borrow money. And essentially, how that works is it can be a fixed variable, like a fixed rate, or it can differ from person to person, which that will go off your credit score, how much money you make, how much money you're borrowing, inflation rates at the time that you're trying to borrow it, and things like that. You guys, why did my shirt break in the middle of me recording? I love this shirt. This shirt, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back with an even cuter shirt because I'm not gonna let that bring me down. We're gonna continue. So the bank will adjust interest rates according to inflation. So if inflation rates are higher and they're rising, interest rates are also going to be raised, basically to cool down the economy to get people to stop spending money. Because the higher the interest rates, the higher you're going to have to pay to be able to borrow money. Now the opposite happens when inflation is low. If it gets too low, then it can like push the economy into a recession. So the way the back combat we're gonna keep it going. The way the bank combats that is they will lower interest rates to kind of stimulate economic activity, and stimulate people like wanting to borrow money and spend more money in the economy and have more money being put into circulation, essentially. So when interest rates are higher, it's going to be higher to borrow money. When interest rates are lower, it's going to be lower to borrow money. So when interest rates are adjusted, there's no secret to it. They'll have like a press conference and everything where the Federal Reserve Chairman right now, who's going to be Jerome Powell, will come out and explain what's happening in the market, what's going to be happening to the economy, why they're cutting or why they're raising interest rates and things like that. So it's pretty transparent, but this makes the stock market go crazy because if interest rates are lowered, that's going to want to make people buy more stocks and the trading volumes are going to be up high. But if interest rates are higher, it's going to make people more skeptical and kind of scared to have their money in the stock market. So they're going to start selling off their shares. They're going to start shorting their positions, and that makes the like market just kind of go down. So if you're in a call position and he announces that interest rates are going up, you better get your money out of there because you're literally going to lose it. And that's what really sucks because Jerome Powell has so much power over the market. If he wanted to, he could really easily manipulate it to benefit him, and insider traders as well. I'm not saying that's what happens, but I'm just saying like he has so much power within the market. His words, his speech, what comes out of his mouth will literally cause the market to go this way or that way. But Jerome Powell did recently hold a press conference where essentially he signaled to the market and to the economy that interest rates were going to be lowered sometime in September. Basically because of employment, like the employment levels are like pretty low. And what happens with this when you lower interest rates, it has a direct impact on employment because that allows employers to be able to pay their employees. It allows them to be able to hire more employees, to pay their employees because there's more money circulating. There's more jobs that can be created because now you have more money to create those jobs and pay the people to do those jobs. So it's kind of like causing economic growth and employment within the community. And another thing, if interest rates were to get lowered, that means auto loans, your mortgages, how much your credit card interest rates and things like that those are absolutely going to go down, and that would be great for the economy. So if he lowers them by a lot, which I don't personally think that he'll do, I think it'll be kind of a slower process of him doing it. But if he lowered it a lot, if you're in real estate, that's all I'm gonna say. If you're in real estate, you're gonna get paid money because people are gonna want to buy houses. People are gonna want to like spend money while they can, while they have it at what they would call like a discount. But you guys, I feel like I did a pretty good job at explaining interest rates and inflation and how they coincide with each other. I will keep you guys updated to see what Jerome Powell actually is going to do, even though Trump is literally trying to get that man out of office like right now because he's going against the things that Trump wants to do. And if you're not a Trump loyalist, then so Wednesday we will be going over the SEC because they have so much to do with our money. This week literally is just going to be about like the things that affect our money that are out of our control, like interest rates, inflation rates, the SEC, the Federal Reserve. We're going over all of that this week, you guys. But before I go, I wanted to remind you guys, pretty girls can do finances too. All right, I will see you Wednesday.